Do you ever feel you might be getting bullied by your vet? In this edition of Veterinary Secrets, how you can get the care that you want for your pet. Hello, welcome back to my channel. If you're new, welcome. Click there to subscribe, hit the bell to sign up for notifications, and then when you click the link directly in the box below, I can send you a copy of my free book. Does this scene seem familiar? Come on in, Andrew. Fluffy, she's here for her booster. My little baby Fluffy here. She's only 7 weeks, Doc, and I just want to give her like this. I want to keep her safe. I want to keep her protected, but I just want to give her the things that are necessary for her. I'm not really crazy about vaccines. I mean, I know there's a purpose. I mean, I did get vaccinated for COVID, but I got my concerns. Like, I know there's vaccine side effects and vaccine reactions, and she's so little, and I just, you know, I want to keep her safe, but I don't want to have her harmed by all these different medicines. So, you know, you tell me, like, what do you suggest, Doc? Well, Andrew, I'm glad you brought little Fluffy here. She's such a cute little 7-week-old puppy. Yeah, maybe she's a little bit big for her age, but she sure is cute. And I hear what you're saying. I understand you're concerned about vaccines, but I'm here to allay your fears. These vaccines are completely safe. They've been tested so many different times, completely safe. But what we need to do, we need to be giving her multiple vaccines. I want to vaccinate her for distemper, parvovirus, adenovirus, parainfluenza. We're going to start now at 7 weeks. We're going to be giving her a series of 4 vaccines. So every 4 weeks apart. I want to make sure she's fully protected against some of these really bad diseases. You know, I'm worried about the volume of vaccines. I think I followed somebody's channel on YouTube. They talked about maybe giving a lesser volume of vaccines. Like, maybe that'll make it safer. They also talked about doing just less number of vaccines, just vaccinating for what is necessary. And they clearly, you know, what's best, but, you know, those are my concerns. What do you say, Doc? Andrew, this is what I recommend. I recommend we do those, vaccinate for those 4 separate viruses and 4 separate boosters, because we really want to make sure the little Fluffy here, we want to make sure that she's like fully protected and she's not going to get those nasty diseases. And there has been extensive studies, extensive research. It's far better to give the full volume of vaccines, because we know that's the best way to guarantee she's going to be protected. Okay, and then I guess if that's what you're suggesting, then you're the specialist. Okay. You may think that little scenario was a little bit far-fetched, but that's something that is happening daily, ongoing, in veterinary clinics across the world. In part, I'm doing the video because I recently had a subscriber say that they brought in their small poodle, you know, a little 6 or 7 week old poodle. The veterinarian recommended a series of 4 different vaccines involving multiple viruses, you know, distemper, parvo, adenovirus, parainfluenza. And, you know, they had like concerns, and their concerns, you know, weren't being listened to. And I do talk a lot on the channel about you being an empowered pet parent, like you making the decisions, you know, for your dog, for your cat. Yet it's one thing to talk about it, and it's another thing to be in that little small exam room space. And there is you, the member of the public, you know, with the veterinarian, likely in their white coat and their stethoscope, and, you know, you're expected to challenge them. I think it's probably more difficult than I think. I think a lot of people really find difficulty being able to do that. There are some veterinarians that make it really difficult. Like, they're just not open to change. First, then, how do you go about doing this? How can you avoid like your little, you know, little 6-week-old poodle puppy getting like a series of multiple vaccines, full volumes of vaccines, versus, you know, what you're deciding that you would rather have your dog be able to stand up to this person in the first place? The first key is you need to be having a good relationship with your veterinarian, someone that you respect, someone that respects you. You need to clearly communicate your concerns, like prior to that veterinary visit, you know, on the phone, with the receptionist, with the admin person who's booking that appointment. And, you know, as you're in the appointment, and like prior to anything being given, like, it's ultimately up to you to consent to whatever your dog, your cat is getting. regardless of what that person in the white coat is recommending. I think it's really important that you, being a super involved, pet owner, or someone who's like really engaged in how your dog, your cat is cared for, that you're really clear on, the series of vaccines that are most important that your puppy, your kitten is getting. And ultimately, like, you're deciding that and you're driving that, as opposed to hearing them say, like, this is what I recommend based on whomever is giving them the vaccine suggested regimen. You really need to be clear on, what you want for your dog, for your cat, and that you're ultimately driving the decisions around their health care. There are some things about the veterinary community that concerns me, in terms of this delay in terms of accepting, decreased vaccine volumes. Clearly, many veterinarians are on board with, really lowering the number of vaccines, extending the intervals, much more open to titers. But there are many people that aren't yet. And, they're just as quick to go in and say you're going to need to have all these multiple vaccines every year just to protect little Fluffy. If your veterinarian is not open to hearing what you have to say, they're not open to natural veterinary care, then maybe it's time that, you end that relationship and seek out a veterinarian who is more open, who is more willing to listen. And there are many veterinarians out there that are willing to do that and are open and caring and honest. You just need to find one that's a good fit for you. Then my last big point, it's you just learning about all these natural remedies in the first place. Like, you learning how to better care for your dog, for your cat at home. Which means less veterinary visit, which means that you're much more comfortable in terms of reading about, different options to treat your dog or cat, and then discussing those with your veterinarian at the same time. Ultimately, it is your dog, it's your cat, it is your decision, not theirs. Thanks again so much for watching this edition of Veterinary Secrets of how really to be an empowered pet parent. Click up there to subscribe, hit the bell to sign up for notifications, then when you click the link directly in the box below, I can send you a copy of my free book.